Gary D. Rodriguez is joining us this morning. Tony Cruz, Cindy Sullivan. We're talking about 6 moves to getting a promotion in the next 30 days. I love the title, Gary, by the way.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was surprised to learn that June is one of the best months to land a promotion. How is that?
June oftentimes is right at the end of the fiscal year and planning starts. So there's a lot of companies that are actually planning out their next fiscal year around June. So then there's a budget consideration always when asking for a raise. So that can oftentimes be that for organizations.
So let's talk about how you get that promotion. Gary, you got some advice for us?
Absolutely. I mean, number one is you really must believe in yourself, and that comes out in attitude, that comes out in how you act and interact with others. I think your communication skills, your own leadership skills, and your ability to solve problems and innovate solutions is also one of the biggest aspects of being able to get the attention of those in charge so that you stand out from the rest.
So you make a list. These are the things that I've accomplished, and here's the situations that I fixed.
That, and also showing your ability to work with others. And this is always a big issue on teams especially, is your ability to create cohesion rather than separation in a team. So you've got all the members of a team rowing in the same direction.
Everybody wants to make more money. How do they go about asking for that money, and how should they prepare to talk to their boss about that?
There is in communication always a process of being able to get rapport, have that credibility. I think that a boss will be reviewing a person's performance throughout the year. So it isn't something you can just walk into your boss and say, hey, I'm fabulous. It has to be something that's accumulated, a certain level of credibility that you've established over the year that you can actually say, these are the things I have accomplished, and be able to communicate that in a way that gains rapport with the boss.
Okay, so let's talk about, you talked about being able to work with others, but while you're being able to work with others, you also need to kind of be a standout if you're going to get a promotion and a raise. So how do you fix that up?
That's a really important point. As I said before, if you can walk into a team and you can be the one that creates cohesion, innovation, generate ideas, you automatically stand out. Oftentimes when people are in a team, there'll be conflicting opinions rather than building a bridge to mutual understanding. Many team members will take a position. They'll say, this is how it is. They drive it forward based upon, their own need to either overpower or over-influence. A great team leader will be one that takes a perspective of other team members and actually reaches a point of conclusion, harvesting the ideas of everyone. So everybody feels like their voice was heard and everybody feels that their opinions were validated. A lot of team members will simply try to push their point through, which doesn't necessarily make a great leader.
One of the things I'm always reminded about is the ability to evolve, particularly when it comes to technology, and willing to say yes to learning that technology. It's something that sometimes people get tired of doing, or they just never want to do it because, like you point out, this is the way we've always done it.
There actually is different behavioral types that date back all the way back to Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine. There's 4 primary personality types, and the one that actually meets the technology inquisitor best is what they call a high C, a compliance individual who's very technically oriented. The other styles, the dominant style, which would be a D style, I'm speaking about the extended disc right now, is also very technically literate. The I style and the S style are more people-oriented, less technology-oriented. As a consequence, you're going to find a variety of different people in a team that are going to be more prone to technology and less prone to people. And so it really kind of depends on how that can play out in a team. This is why having team cohesion where multiple perspectives are garnished, that is where I think it's really important.
Well, one more thing, Gary. In order to be able to get a raise and to prove to the higher-ups that you're worth it for that promotion, you've got to be persistent in some ways. How do you be persistent without being whiny or a little too bothersome?
I would say self-leadership from the perspective of it's always about your attitude, and your attitude is highly, highly important in anything. People generally hire on attitude oftentimes rather than skill, because they can train the skill, they can't train the attitude. And a great attitude is always that you're self-accountable, you're self-responsible for your own emotional states, and you desire to work together rather than as a solo performer.
Good stuff, Gary. Thanks for your time. We really do appreciate it. That's Gary.
No worries. Have a great one.
Workplace culture expert. Thank you, Cindy. We'll take a break. Come back here with the morning team. Traffic and weather on the 4s.